everyone. Today we're going to create tiny planets using panoramic images in Photoshop. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is find a panoramic image on your phone, or create one by putting two images side by side, mirrored of course, so the ends can match up. But what we're going to start off here is I'm going to load in a panoramic image, which I've done. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock the background layer by clicking the little lock, and then I'm going to go to Layer, Duplicate Layer. So I'm going to have Layer 0 copy. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to come to my crop tool, and I want to make a crop and extend it that's twice the size of that panoramic. So I get one long image, so that it looks good. Then I'm going to move that Layer 0 copy right next to the original image. Kind of bump it closer. Looks like I need to come a little bit closer because you can kind of see through here. You want it to be seamless. And I might need to bring the crop tool in just a hair. Great. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is flip Layer 0 copy horizontal. So with that layer selected, I go to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. So now all of the edges match up. So when I match this edge with this edge to create a circle, it will match up. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is select both layers in my layers panel, and then go to Layer, Merge Layers all the way down here at the bottom. Now I have one big long panoramic image. The next thing I want to do is make the image square. So to do that, I'm going to go up to Image, Image Size, and I'm going to copy the height and paste it in the width. If you notice that your numbers are doing something funny and it won't let you match these two, make sure that this link is turned off so you don't see the lines like you see here. So now I'm going to copy this again, paste, make sure it's square. So now I've got this really weird, kind of crazy, funky looking square panoramic image. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is go to Filter, Distort, Polar Coordinates. It should default to rectangular to polar. If not, make sure that is checked, and then you'd press OK. And now you've created this really kind of cool, crazy, tiny planet. Feel free to go back out to before you do the polar coordinates, and then go to Image, Image Rotation, Flip Vertical. And then if you go back to Filter at the top, it'll do the last used filter. And you can click Polar Coordinates, and it'll give you a different kind of look. So depending on which way that you want to go, what you want to do with your tiny planet, you can have two different views. So you can stop here, but I think it's really important that we talk about vector masks. And this is a great time to talk about vector masks, because if you want the perfect circle of the tiny planet. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to select Layer 0 copy. We'll actually name it Tiny Planet. Then you're going to want to go up to Layer, Vector Mask, Reveal All. Once you do that, you now have the thumbnail for your vector mask. The next thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that that layer is selected and go to Paths. So you see Layers, Channels, Paths. With that selected, you'll now see a tiny planet vector mask. Make sure it is highlighted. This is what it looks like unhighlighted. This is what it looks like highlighted. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is start using your vector tools, which we're going to start talking about in the next module, in module 4. But your vector tools are going to be your shape, your text, all of that. So I'm actually going to go straight to any of my shape tools, and I'm going to pick the ellipse tool because we are doing tiny planets, so something circular. So with that layer highlighted, I'm coming over to the ellipse tool, and I'm just going to start at the corner because it is a perfect square, holding shift while I drag to make sure it is proportional. And once I get it all nice and centered, I release. And now I go back to layers, move tool, and you'll see that I have a tiny planet on a transparent background. What you can do from here is if you do have a seam, like you can kind of see here, you can use your spot healing brush tool. And then you can save this out as a PNG so you keep the transparent background to add it into your composite images or any other work that you're doing. And that is how you do a tiny planet and add a vector mask.